that sometimes I go crazy when I go to Arabic, language conferences, and I hear somebody talking about a topic that has been thoroughly studied by Western scholars, and the talk is absolutely oblivious to this findings about the same topic elsewhere. What we want together with of course a wonderful array of scholars with me, is to give a platform in the Arab world. Remember that. Yes, it is based in London, but it is really more to serve the interests and cater to the needs of especially the young Arab academics, and give them a platform not to talk about Arabic literature in isolation, not to talk about Fatma Mernissi and Nawal Saadawi alone, but also be aware of the feminist writings in the West and make the comparisons, right? And if they talk about, other subject, not al-Mutanabbi, a very specific, Arab figure, but also al-Mutanabbi and Masalan, somebody equivalent to al-Mutanabbi, and so on. So the idea here is to have these comparative studies, right? And our idea is that just send us your article, and we will do our best to review and get it published. Yes, Dr. Nagwa.
Yes. I have a question to Professor Linda. You mentioned the Omani ladies when their husbands traveled for a month or so, that they maintain the falaj. I believe that was the word. Could you please elaborate what is falaj?
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Yes.
No problem. I didn't understand.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for asking. The falaj system is the lifeline for Omanis and has been since ancient times. It is a system of water distribution that originates in the mountainous areas, and it's a system of channels that are dug under mountains to villages through gravity flow and so forth and so on, because it is largely an arid land. And the falaj system is actually even mentioned by another name, the Qanat system in the Old Testament. Very, very ancient, used in the areas of the Gulf and also in ancient Persia as well. So this is the way in which water has been distributed historically to the people of Oman until this day. Of course, now they have modern water distribution systems, but in the mountains, in the desert border areas, the farms are all watered by way of falaj.
Okay.
I mean, who regulates this? Sorry. Who is the regulator of this?
You should look at it. I wrote a book called Oman, Balancing Tradition and Modernization, and I have an elaborate description of who regulates it. It requires a great deal of social organization and cooperation. So
okay, I would suggest that Dr. Nagwa would write to Dr. Linda an email and get all this information actually in a much more accurate way. Okay,
Thank you so much.
Yeah, sure. Allow me as a father and a proud one also to acknowledge my dear daughter. She is here, Amira Abdel Malik, and I miss her a lot when, I am in the United Arab Emirates and she is in Canada. She's a bright graduate student, and she has wonderful ideas, and I am very proud of her, and I'd like to make a reference to our Arab way of labeling us, the father or the mother, that we are named after our own children. If the name, a child might be identified as the son of so-and-so, in the Arab world, I am known as Abu Amira, the father of Amira.
Yeah,
So
I
I walk around and I say, I am the guy who's walking around with this young lady who's my daughter. I am Abu Amira. And I think that whatever people think about our Arab world and culture, I think this is absolutely beautiful.
Okay.
All right, please, Wujdan, doctor.
Okay. So, أهلا أميرة، أهلا أميرة، عندك أب عظيم يا أميرة. You have a great father, a great father. We are proud of him. He tried to unify us, unify Arab women.
Yes,
Okay. I have,
but and Amira might kind of look very friendly and docile, but when she was a child, she was really she gave me some rough time.
okay.
This is the girl at the age of 4. I said, "Come here, little girl," and she said, "Daddy, I am not a little girl. I am a woman." So you could see. I never thought.
I have a question to Dr. Linda.
Yes. Yes,
I just wanted to, I just want to very quickly to bring the attention back to all the presenters that I'm just so honored to be a part of something like this. This would have meant the world to me when I was a younger girl growing up, and you will all inspire the next generation. And just thank you all so much.
Oh.
Thank you, Amira. Lovely to
All right,
meet you.
that's lovely.
Okay,
Well,
I have a question.
Amira.
I have a question to Dr. Linda, please.
Yes.
Allow me. So it's very powerful presentation because I visited Oman and I am in touch with the literary scene in Oman.
Ah.
And they have very active literary scene. Saeed al-Saqlawi and Hassan al-Matrushi and Muhammad al-Urami. So you touched just Chokha al-Harithi. So why you just pick Chokha al-Harithi? There is like Muhammad al-Urami, he's also a great novelist, Omani novelist. And have you like touched another part of the literary scene, means poetry side?
Yes, well, I singled out Joha because I didn't have time to go through all of them, but
Okay.
Joha has won international acclaim within the last year with the Man Booker Prize. I thought that was very, very significant internationally. One of my very, very dear friends is Bushra Khalfan, who's written a very excellent book called El Bahr. You may have read it. She's also a poet, and actually she just launched last month a television program for women, about women in Muscat. But she's a very, very well-known author and novelist. Also a current member of the Majlis al-Dawla is a lady who was the first female novelist to be published in Oman. So there are many, many women writers of tremendous achievement in the country.
Actually, Dr. Linda, I published a book which was issued during Oman عاصمة الثقافة العربية, the capital of culture. This is about just Omani contemporary poetry. And I collected many voices.
All right. Okay. I'm going to have to interfere in here because we have, the last item, which is like some kind of concluding observations and resolutions. But before I conclude, I address myself to Dr. Wujdan very quickly and say, if you really want to study something very exciting about Omani women and their writings, check this one. The memoirs of an Arab princess, yes, Salma bin Said, who actually fell in love with her German instructor. And she left Zanzibar, as you remember, in the 19th century, that was a colony. And she wrote about her own life in German. And in recent years, this book has been translated into Arabic and it's available. And I think that on the sidebar, I actually sent the exact title of the book and with a synopsis of it. All right. So now, if I can have your attention, I will now share the screen, and I want you to know that I wrote already, I composed some few pages about my remarks. so that it would be easier to just go over the highlights rather than every word. And so you can read the full text. It was already been sent to you by email, by the way. So let me just go over some of these highlights and you know, do the thank you that we need to do. All right. Now it is closing. Okay. So do you see that? Do you see that?
Oh,
Closing ceremonies?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. And well, first of all, I don't know if Dr. Sana bin Masood is available, is around.
Yeah, I am. I'm with you.
Okay, well, that's wonderful. First of all, I'd like to thank all of you for your contributions and your insights into some of the burning issues of our time, and in also getting together to celebrate. Remember, this is not a polemical as much as some sort of a festive occasion to point out, to evaluate, and to appreciate the contributions of Arab women, maligned inside their own societies and misunderstood, I think, to some extent, even by our outsiders when they study them. But I cannot really go without, first of all, acknowledging publicly and thanking my dear colleague, Dr. Sana bin Masood, for her great contribution to this conference. And I'm talking about the preparing for it. And yes, I discussed with her the ideas, but she was the wonderful interpreter of my ideas and in the just beautiful articulation, and if not even the very wording by her pen. Although, of course, I don't think it was a pen, but
well, let's give her a
yes,
couple hands.
Absolutely. All right, and that in itself is really celebrating a contribution of an Arab woman coming all the way to us from Morocco, and she's also a fellow Canadian, by the way. So, and I also want to thank you know, a number of people who helped us, specifically Nuran. Is Nuran around? Nuran?
Yes, I'm
yes.
Here.
Oh, please, you know, let us, yeah. Nuran, absolutely wonderful in helping us prepare for all of this, as well as remember the kind of messenger who's been sending out all of these messages. It is Nuran actually who has been doing that. I also would like to thank our IT technician Yasser. I don't know if he's around or he can help hear us. Okay, I want to also remind you that in order to benefit fully from what we've been doing in the last 2 days, please work on producing your full-fledged papers and send them by December 15th to us, and we will publish them. Now, because remember, we are also a serious journal, so your papers will still go through the process of review. It would be actually read and edited if need be by others, right? People, of course, who are scholars themselves, and then we will publish them in a special issue. Now, resolution number 1. Okay. So after 2 days of deliberation and after floating the idea of nominating Nawal Saadawi for the Nobel Prize for Literature, I would like actually to take some concrete steps. The first thing is that we're serious people. Listen, this is not a matter of just you know, biased evaluation of somebody, or we just because we love her, you know, but because we read and we understood and we critique her writings, and I think many of us believe that she deserves to be nominated. So what I am going to do, I have done the following. The first thing is that I already enlisted the help of our dear friend, Dr. Per Garton, who is a Swedish sociologist, who actually sent me a text. I took the basic part of it and I sent it to you. And that text is going to be what we would like to use and send to the Swedish Academy. Now, this is serious stuff. All right. So what I'm doing is that I have already sent you that text, and I'm going to ask you to look very carefully at it. Even look at, if you would like just to add something to it, or edit it, or catch something in it, or elaborate, and send your contribution, your feedback rather, to me. You know, I mean, would be basically our committee, Dr. Sana, of course, with me, myself, Dr. Zani, and I think I have somebody else, Dr. Adel Awad, who I'm not sure that is around. All right, and we're going to look at this and then prepare a statement, and prepare yourself to, you know, receive this statement very soon. And then, of course, I would like you to write your name, affiliation, and we have signature. Now, this need not be like your real authentic signature, just in case you will be a little bit, you know, concerned about this, but just some form of an acknowledgement that you agreed to and that you are supporting this statement. All right. So let us just very quickly just tell you that the statement, I do not really wish to read and discuss this statement now. You all know from experience that that would take a long time. If I have 35 or 37 people, all of them have ideas and all of them are, you know, concerned, you know, with this. So it's just simple, and it has references to some of the works by Nawal Saadawi. He has actually more stuff, but I picked the main thing. It's just that he makes a reference to a Swedish daily called Dagens Nyheter or something in April of 2014 that says that Nawal Saadawi has given us one of the great feminist novels. And it was obvious that this overview of the Egyptian revolution had to be written by a woman. And just as obviously, a steady candidate for the Nobel Prize. Now it is really time for that. That was in 2014. And he immediately said, we academics, that's of course going to be a reference to us, we academics from all over the world gathered for a 2-day conference in honor of Nawal Saadawi, her literary work and her struggle for justice for everybody, but especially for women, agree with this evaluation. And it goes on to just say simply that we are nominating her for the prize, all right, the Nobel Prize for Literature. Now, he also suggested that we go to the Norwegian Academy and nominate her for peace. You know, there is also another. I think that I received some reaction from one of you saying that we should separate the two. I totally agree. We shouldn't, because it would weaken us if we say, we'll give her that and, you know, it is another shot also, you know, give her the other. No, not in the same. We're going to have two separate nominations if that's what you like to do. And this is all with your full support and you know, endorsement. Okay, good. Now, just quick reactions, you know, about this idea. Are we all, you know, kind of enthusiastic about this? I received many supporting notes from you. So
we have already sent our feedback via email.
Yeah.
I think
Yes.
Do we need to write something, or we can just voice our support for this initiative?
Well, first of all, I mean, I'd like to actually hear it, that there is a support for the initiative.
Yeah.
And also remember that some of you have written, I think several of you, like I think that we covered so much ground today, you know, like we are going really fast, you know, this is wonderful. And the other thing is that we want to do everything seriously. So I'll work closely with Dr. Sana to produce the text. I mean, I gave you this as an idea, and it's a text of somebody else, Dr. Per. So I will elaborate, I will put it together and then send it to you. And then I'm going to ask, not something revamping it, but just would you like to add one line? Would you like us to emphasize an aspect? Just, you know, maybe we'll give you a chance to say this within a week or so. We'll put everything together. Then we'll send the final text. And then that's when I want your endorsement in the form of name, affiliation, and signature. We can create something. Yes.
I mean, my thought is, I don't know the criteria for such nominations, but if we were to put more names, I think Dr. Nawal has affected tens, if not hundreds of thousands of academics in the Arab world and throughout the world. So maybe seeking more signatures could probably strengthen the request.
Okay, here is what I fully understand what you're saying, and I think we should put this in the letter itself. That should you need more, we can. But remember, this is not a campaign for elections, and I don't really mean to be funny about this. I think I'm gonna now go over what the Swedish Academy wants.
Right.
If you bear with me, I'll go down now, and this is what this is actually from their website. I kind of cut and paste, so that's not a nomination and selection of literature laureates. Nomination to the Nobel Prize in Literature can be made by qualified persons only. So it's not a popular vote. It's not like your entire class and my entire class voting for Nawal Saadawi. I don't really, please, Maher, understand that I'm not really frivolous in this conversation.
I think Maher.
Yeah. And so the names and the nominees and so on. Now, what are the categories of these people? That's why I'm saying it cannot be just regular people. Here, members, of the Swedish Academy and other academician institutions and societies which are similar to it in the construction and purpose. I'm sorry. This is actually number one, for some reason, yeah. So either members of the Swedish Academy. Are we members of the Swedish Academy? We're not. So number one doesn't apply to us. But look at this number two, which I highlighted. Professors of literature and linguistics. يعني Kamal Abdel Malik and Maher Bahlul. Do you see that? Just totally applies to us. Just two individuals, let alone 37 people with us, in this platform. And university college, from universities and colleges. And of course, previous Nobel laureates and so on. So the idea here is that to show them that we are serious, we've read her work, we are supportive of her, and we want you, meaning the Swedish Academy, to consider her seriously. Okay? Anybody would like to say something about this? All right.
Dr. Kamal, can we ask about another issue?
Yes, of course.
About the journal, please.
Yes.
How many issues published from the journal, and What about index? Is it indexed in any index
Yes.
like Scopus or something
Right.
else?
We've just started, so we are about to establish our qualifications to actually submit a formal application and get that. So this is like the kind of the honest answer, and we have already started on the right track by attracting really wonderful people such as Juha Al-Harithi. I have to tell you that she's an academic too.
Yeah, we
She's
know
not just
that.
a writer, but
Yeah,
she's
we
an
know her.
academic. Yes. All right. So this is, and now with this, the papers for this conference, we are bound to publish many actually, and this is going to be good for the journal and good in our when we actually the process of application. All right. So
Thank
I'm
you.
gonna now move on to the other thing in our closing remarks. Okay, we have created for you, we've already done this, and you are all have access to a folder, Dropbox folder, and it's titled Bibliography on Arab Women and Suggested Research Topics. If you remember that part of what we've been doing is actually to exchange references all the time, right? And books that we may not be aware that they exist, but they can help us. So please, by all means, feel free to go to this Dropbox folder and just put lists of bibliography on particular themes related to Arab women. You may also suggest research topics, and bear in mind that we would like this Dropbox to be accessible to other, especially young academics and graduate students. All right? I think that some of you have already sent some ideas there and some bibliographical, okay? So you can upload, and especially if they are annotated bibliographies. I think that is gonna really help. Okay, and if you can suggest some comparative studies and ways to relate the issues related to Arab women to their international sisters, that would be great. And we have here the link, and it was already sent to you also. You have any question about that? Okay, now we come to really the last item in this, and that is suggestion for the next conference in 2021. All right, so we will have about a year to prepare for this, but this is going to be really giving you a chance to start the research from now, if not prepare already some research projects or papers already that you have, and that is literature and humor, Juha, the wise fool in Arabic and world literature. As you all know, this figure is known in Arabic, Persian, Turkish, and Sicilian literature, and is our dear friend and colleague, Dr. Francesca is around. Okay, I think that she wrote to me that she had to tend to some business. All right.
Oh, she's here. She's here.
Oh, okay.
No, I have to, but I'm back since.
That's right.
Oh, okay. You are back now. I am so happy to see you, Francesca. All right, as always. Okay, so so now she's going to really educate many of us about this figure, being known in Sicily, for example. And she wrote a book, as I think we mentioned earlier, Juha, the Cunning The Fool and the Wise, 1991, and it's in French and Arabic editions this year. And of course, it needs also to be in English. So you and I should really talk about this. Please, go ahead.
Well, I want to say that it's also in Spanish literature. It's not only in Sicilian, but
Yes,
also,
yes.
not only in Sicilian. I discovered that there is also in Genoa, in another, and in Tuscany, in other region of Italy.
Oh, I'm not surprised at all. And I understand there is also some equivalent to this figure in Russian literature, in Armenian literature.
Yeah, and
so this figure, in many ways, you know, I'm looking for things that would unite us, for a topic that would actually get us excited, and also that figures, you know, prominently in our respective cultures.
It's right? It's like the fool in Shakespeare.
Yes, exactly.
Like
but he's wise. He's a very wise fool, actually.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's a worldwide character. It has a special role, which is called trickster from an anthropological point of view.
Exactly. Yes.
So
his neighbor came to him and said, Joha, I would like to borrow your donkey. And Joha, you know, not wanting to, you know, lend his donkey, he said, you know, Mustafa, donkey's dead. So as he was saying this to his Mustafa, the donkey starts braying, you know, making noise in the background. So the neighbor looked at him and said, Joha, what is it that I'm hearing? And Joha said, are you going to believe me or him or it? So it's it has that kind of universal kind of humor, and it's, I think that one of the things that struck me about him is flouting religious, you know, traditions. You know, he's very daring, actually. He ridicules, he makes fun of some of the religious beliefs and so on. And I'm very surprised that his legacy, you know, survived. Remember that we have Nawadir Juha coming all the way to us from the 9th century as a manuscript, you know, and then of course all sorts of other narratives. Okay, so we would like to suggest this as a you know, as a topic. Yes, doctor.
You know, in the Middle East, we get students by the name of Juha. I don't know if you know or not.
Yes.
So the wise fool, my sense is this might offend some, I don't know, some people. I'm not sure, but I know we have the word wise, but at the same time we heard the word fool. These students are young, really, mostly young ladies. I think a title like this might not be that friendly for them.
Okay. Well, first of all, you drop the word fool, and it is totally useless topic, because the whole idea is that he's wise and he's fool at the same time. And then second thing is that your students should be smart enough to know we don't mean them. We mean this other figure somewhere in, you know, you should really explain that to them. Yes. Yeah, we cannot hear you. Dr. Francesca, you need to unmute.
Unmute your...
No, he is right. Somebody can be offended, so one can find a solution to the name is not a problem. We said the
so what do you guys suggest?
In tradition, in ancient tradition, and that's it's an old story. So it's it could be or it could be another title. I mean, the figure of the trickster in world literature.
Okay. Right. But we have to use the word Joha.
The figure of the trickster in world literature, and the point, Joha stories, an old example as a subtitle. But this is not the problem. The point is the idea, like the idea.
Okay.
a solution.
How many students do you know who has the last name Joha? Please tell me.
No. I mean, with me, I had maybe 2 or 3, but I can see that every time I address them, I try to find another name, and sometimes I ask them, "Would you like to be called by?" Some some would say yes, some would say no, depending on the case. But here is another also suggestion. I mean, if we put Joha, while it's literature and humor, we're extremely limiting the conference to only one character.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, in fact.
So maybe opening it up, opening the theme up to all types of humor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is this probably a good idea?
Remember that I said literature and humor first. No,
Yeah.
I agree with you. I agree with you. And then in Arabic and world literature. How about that?
Yeah.
And
like
then if people
humor,
would like to write about Joha, such as Dr. Francesca, then she can. You want to avoid this and write about something else? Sure.
Yeah. No, because it has to be free. Everybody can give a contribution.
Exactly. All right.
Joha could be a character or
Okay.
something completely different. Doesn't matter.
I must admit to you that I thought about also other, alternative titles. For example, literature and medicine, and the literature and pandemic, throughout. And immediately thought again of Italian, Boccaccio and Decameron, as also some narratives during a time of a pandemic. And then if you combine this with the love in the time of cholera, okay, by my case, then this is really wonderful. And then Nazik al-Malaika writing about cholera, example, and then you link this to the time, and then even what's his name, Tawfiq al-Hakim in Audat al-Ruh, there is a lot of reference to the Spanish flu, by the way. Around that time, apparently there was no, and so on. So literature and medicine, I thought about this, which can be a great topic actually, as well. So what I can do is that how about if I send you, I mean, I've already sent you this, but I can elaborate a little bit on the topics for the next conference by suggesting literature and humor, and then other things. I also thought that 2021 would be 10 years after the Arab Spring. It might be a chance for us to look at the Arab Spring and then write about this. So literature and revolution, for example.
Literature and
revolution. Yeah. And then suddenly we will have great comparisons. I mean, people who were in prison and the imprisoned diaries, and then we write about Gramsci
and Nawal Saadawi.
Yeah, and Nawal Saadawi.
What about writing this and sending this via email and discussing it? Because now, after a long day, we are very tired.
No, I understand. I'm sorry. It wasn't actually my goal to continue to talk about this. I was going to suggest literature and humor, and that's it. But then of course, that's the good thing about feedback. Anyway, so I can put together a number of topics, and then you choose. How about that?
Yes.
Yeah.
And please, if ever next time we have an online conference with the Tajik dance program, try to have it over 3 days, because really,
honestly, I thought about that.
If it is online, it's too tiresome to stay to sit all the day with eyes glued to the computer. It's not like face-to-face conference. You can move, you can talk, and you don't have your eyes.
I totally agree.
So please take this into consideration, because it's already, we started the 8 o'clock. Now it's 6:30. So just imagine with 1 hour break.
Okay, Dr. Wafa, I totally agree with you. And remember, we are all together in the same boat here. Me too, 12 hours yesterday, another 12 hours today. But alhamdulillah, everything went well. We didn't have any kind of major glitch. Yes.
One suggestion, I think, in my talk, I mentioned that this is a great suggestion, and I think we have to do more to this, to these issues. And I would really like to invite each one of us to think of the next conference, and maybe hosting the conference in your university, in your city, in your department, and also checking on resources, especially if there are a number of venues that would support conference on literature, young women, literature, empowerment, literature revolution in the Arab world. Wherever you are, it would be nice for this international conference to move, and
it's
around.
an excellent idea. Yeah. And I don't know if you remember that, because we had to drop and change the plan. This was planned to take place in Egypt, in Luxor. And I had all the arrangements, and then the corona struck. Okay, I want everybody to know that inshallah, if all goes well, and this corona is under control a little bit, I will be going to Harvard University in January, or maximum in February. And we will continue to talk, or hopefully we will have some topics for conferences, and maybe I can approach the people at Harvard. I don't know. Maybe they would be interested, something that would excite them, or, do something and somehow contribute to our host. But at the same time, I want to hear from all of you. Wouldn't that be nice to have it in Sidi
Boussaid, yeah.
Sidi Boussaid, مثلا.
Definitely, yeah, definitely.
Lovely atmosphere. Wouldn't that be great?
I was expecting you to say, would it be possible to have it in Qarqana, since we have a house already and we will get the keys soon?
I don't want anybody to, too many people in I want to keep the house.
Sidi Boussaid is, or Al-Hamamat in Tunisia, is an excellent venue.
It's just absolutely gorgeous, with this blue and, white colors there. All right, very good. So
excuse me.
Yes.
Would you be sending certificates by email for us? Certificates of.
Yes. Actually, I just approved, I think, the text. So excellent. Even in between, it's not like I had time to rest. All right. So definitely you will get that. And actually, we can stop in here. I want to thank you again very much. Once again, just go and rest now and contemplate all of this. I hope that you all enjoy this thoroughly. We are learning together. We are learning.
Please join me in thanking Dr. Kamal and Dr. Nuran.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your effort. Thank you. This is a great opportunity.
Thank you very much.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Thank you very much, Kamal. Very generous, and I'm very happy and proud to be your friend. And now to have all these friends is a wonderful experience.
It is. It's really wonderful. Okay, so we will continue to be in touch. Oh, is Jana here too? Jana Amin?
Yes, I am.
Oh, this is wonderful, Jana. All right. And I'm so proud of you, I'm sorry to talk like a father now.
No, thank you.
And I couldn't believe it that, some of our, contributors or participants actually made a reference to you. And they say, as Jana, it took me a PhD, to have in order for people to say, as Kamal Abdel Malik says. And Jana, so early in her life, this is really wonderful.
No, shukran jazilan to all of you, really, for including me in these really important conversations. And I hope to stay in touch, inshallah.
Yes. But it's also, it's the quality, Jana. It's the quality, your quality, and also your, I must say, your daring. You know, you're the one who sent us your, you know, with incredible confidence, your own abstract and so on, and your paper. Yeah, very good. And so let's continue to be in close contact. I will also send you my own email so that you can write. It doesn't have to be like extremely official through the conference website and so on. And also, I really would like to form like an association out of you. Wow. Like, let us have an association. Great. Like an association, something like, you know, the Association for Women and Empowerment or something. Or something to do with also research, though, so that doesn't look like some kind of activist group, you know, but it's something to do. So think about that.
You need to have a permit for an association.
Oh, it's okay. It's all right. We can do that. Actually, I want to avoid Egypt because we tried and we did not manage to do that. But maybe Tunisia.
We'll try maybe Michigan.
Or yeah. I mean, it can be in the United States.
When you're in Harvard, you do the association in Harvard.
Okay, maybe we can do that. Or Amira can help us, and we'll do it in Vancouver. Or
Yes, that's a very good idea. Yes.
You know, and I think the Canadian government would be happy to consider that. All right. Yeah. So this is the idea. The idea is that we need to use our soft power. We have power, and we have to make use of that power. We might not be fully aware of that, but we have this power, and we're going to nominate this, you know, wonderful writer, Nawal Saadawi, and you will see, you know, we will make a change. All right. So thank you very much. I think that we have to stop in here and let's clap for each other.
Can I just say something?
Yes.
Well, I just want to thank you for the wonderful job that you did. Really, it was a pleasure collaborating with you on this project, and an even greater pleasure to see it come to fruition after so many odds last year, if you remember.
Oh, I do remember. I do remember.
Yeah.
I mean, guys, there is no time to tell you, but we tried in institutions and they let us down. So I'm talking about academic, you know.
Yeah. And I just must add that your Egyptian sense of humor, it helped turn the sessions into a convivial space that was really conducive to relaxed discussions. I could see it in the chat box.
Yeah, ditto to that. Yes, he's amazing. I mean, all Egyptians have a wonderful sense of humor. They are incredible.
I don't know. We're born with this. It's in our genes. There are two things that we always do. We build pyramids and we crack jokes all the time.
That's why we should keep the theme of the humor, I guess. We should keep this one. It's wonderful. It's a wonderful topic.
So let's have this. Yes, Maher. You want to say something?
No, I just wanted to say that my personal encounters with Egyptians have always been associated with the humor. So I agree.
Yes. Okay. Well, thank you very much. And I also, the Lord has, you know, given me this opportunity to know wonderful people, you know, throughout my life. And now I feel, honestly, I'm widening the scope of friendship, and I look forward to actually having and forming a group out of this, an association, right? And because, you know, it's not always easy to have such a wonderful group of people, all right? So God bless you. And as you know, in Casablanca, the movie I'm talking, it ends with this: I think this is the beginning of a wonderful friendship. Okay. Bye-bye. Let's clap for each other.
Bye, everyone.
Good day. Bye.
God bless you.
Bye, Iman.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Goodbye, Amira. All right. I don't know if Amira is still around. Bye-bye. Okay.
Bye-bye, Kamal.
Bye-bye, Gulnaz. Bye-bye,
Bye.
Francisca.
Have a great day. Bye.
Okay,
Thank you.
bye-bye.
Thank you very
Night.
much.
I mean.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Okay, very nice.